everyone, and welcome to our next episode of the Women in Sport series, She Can. This is the latest episode. This is episode 25. Welcome. You can follow all of the updates on here on our Facebook. If you're watching it on a replay, then welcome. We are joined today by Abby from Sokker Girls. So Sokker Girls is an incredible venture that you've kind of, it's spiraling, isn't it, Abby, of clothing for grassroots girls that are now coming up into the ranks that hopefully will be playing off the back of the summer. Do you want to talk us, fingers crossed indeed, do you want to talk us through a little bit about where the idea came from and where it all started and when it did?
Yeah, well, back in the early 90s, where we used to live, there was no other girls really playing around, and I had an older brother and I had no choice but to play football with him and his friends. And the more I played, the more I enjoyed it. I was quite good. But back then, you didn't see girls wearing football kits. There was no football teams. If a girl played football, it was like point and stare. So it kind of fizzled out a bit until I got to primary school. And then I was accepted to be able to play with the lads in school. Literally went to high school, faded out again because it wasn't seen as the cool thing. And then one day we had Stockport County come in who was looking to form a girls' football team. I think this was about 93. So we went for the training afterwards and fortunately got picked and ended up training with them and playing a few games. So from there onwards, then I phased out of football really. Went and did the usual clubbing, everything else. Went into clothing, worked for some major brands, some big retailers as well. Always been a fan of sportswear. And then it's something that's always been in the back of my mind, but I've never had the guts to get up and do, because obviously the money of the setup. So I think it was very late last year, early January this year, I just kind of started sketching in a book, ideas and aims, what I wanted to do, why I wanted to do it, and what I was going to give back by doing it. As time went on, started getting in touch with people that I'd met through working, got factories, guy that designs, another chap that helps me do he just gives me the talk, gasses you up. And so he helped that out. I've got a friend that did a website. It just all fell in place. Sokker Girls, the name, was born out of watching the African Nations Cup. So absolutely love that cup. Love the kits more than the football because the kits are just amazing. They're so colourful.
They're amazing, aren't they? They're something else.
Yeah, they are. They're out of this world. And looked up African football and the word soccer was spelt with a double K came out, and it's the African version of football. So that's where we came. So Sokker Girls was born then, probably I'd say about August, but the actual website went live on August the 28th. But we've been visiting grassroots football teams, sessions, tournaments since about July.
That's amazing. And just kind of going back and rewinding a little bit to, I guess, where you started out as, playing as a youngster. It's such a common story, isn't it, for women and girls to just hear that of, I was playing with the boys, but I wasn't accepted. And it's, I think now, and people like you who will really help this, and I hope will make that influence as well, in that girls and young girls and little girls as well, who are so small and kind of being brought up in the world, they don't have that experience anymore. I think that's so important. That hopefully going forward now, there's so much more acceptance, and it does seem like it. I am seeing a lot more kind of girls and ladies teams coming through. They obviously still don't have all of the backing financially, but at least it's becoming more of a norm, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's definitely get that. I am also a football coach as well, and I do girls football And the things for me it's about friendships, building confidence, and if that kid's not smiling when they go off the pitch, I'm not doing my job right.
Yeah.
You know, and if they're brilliant at football, it's an absolute bonus. And I think we've grown, the club that I'm at has grown massive. And I get a lot of feedback from parents about the kids' confidence and self-esteem, you know, and for me, it's that and handing out the kits are the best part because they're so chuffed that they've got a kit that they're representing a team.
I think
You
that's the
know,
most important thing, isn't it? That they just feel included, because
yeah,
we talk about inclusivity and especially diversity in with it as well.
definitely, yeah.
And it's so important that they do feel included, because it wouldn't have been very, I guess, even a few years ago before the pandemic, that you'd see young girls wearing boys' kits and it would
Yeah,
just absolutely drown them.
exactly.
How you'd be able to kick a ball, I
Yeah,
don't know. And it's so important to have a girls' kit. And I know even now there are so many calls for female football fans to just have a ladies' kit and a ladies'
yeah,
size and a fit for the shirts as well. And starting them from a young age, it's just so important to do that so that they feel
definitely.
that inclusion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive part. I mean, we started, I think it was a year before we went into COVID, this girls' team. And it was things like the academy kids. The boys were allowed to train at one point, but the academy girls weren't. It's where's the sense in that? You know, it's just, and then it's them girls are missing out then. But
Yeah.
even through COVID, I mean, we set up teams like online, and what we did is we had a video call every Tuesday night when Monday night when our training session was 6 till 7, and it helped not only them but it helped me as well, you know, because it just kept that routine, and we
Yeah.
all talked and we joked and we laughed and we had stupid faces competition, and then we'd go out with a gift or a drawing competition to keep them stimulated, you know. And it's not just, it's about mental health as well. So for a girl who plays at an academy at, say, Manchester City, and a 7-year-old boy exactly the same plays for the boys' side, where's the balance?
Yeah. And it's that friendship and community,
Yeah,
isn't it? That
yeah,
is the main thing. And like you say, all of that comes first because it is their mental health.
of
That's
course.
where it all fits in, as long as they're happy
Yeah,
and just
smiling, just,
having
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah. Literally just having fun. I think that's just the main thing. And especially for women and girls, especially adolescent girls as well,
yeah,
feeling good about themselves is a massive thing. I know I was taught to just, be myself.
yeah,
That's good enough. That's more than good enough. But we know that there are so many toxic cultures and toxicity on social media, which
yeah,
is rife, that we need kind of people like you that are creating obviously this clothing to make girls feel good about
yeah.
themselves as well, because it's not about how you look.
No, you could wear a plain black t-shirt
Yeah.
and feel confident. You know, it's about it's inside, isn't it? And like I say, I mean, the girls that I train with, if I can make them feel confident rather than kicking a ball in a straight line, that's me happier than finding out that they've scored 10 goals at weekend.
And also it kind of leads to that, doesn't it? If they're happy in themselves and they're just, even if they're there for fun,
Yeah,
you'll probably find that they might come away scoring 3 goals and they're thinking,
of
oh my gosh,
course.
I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, and then again, it's another confidence boost, and it's just a stage of getting them to that point. I've got a girl that wasn't over talkative, she wasn't confident. She now plays in defence in a boys' league.
That's amazing.
You know, it's things like that. And that makes me happy. You know, I have a rule with them. We have a trainer of the week every week. And the rule is it's not the fastest runner, it's not the person who scores the most goals, it's the one who's listened, done the instruction and tried the best,
Yeah.
or helped others, you know.
100%. And that just highlights as well, kind of, I mean, we can, I guess, look at girls being in boys' teams in two ways, can't we? And there is a positive and a negative to it, in terms of sometimes that is the only way, like yourself, to be able to play football. And it, in the grand scheme of things, it is disappointing because it's not necessarily an equal opportunity, because we've seen in the past where you'll have a boys' league with a girl involved, and as soon as they reach a certain point, the girl has to leave. But then re-entering is amazing, to be able to then, equality is what we're after and what we want, and to be the exact same, to then be able to come into it is absolutely amazing. I think that's so important, that young girls now see that happening, and they see that is possible. And I think especially now, you know, we talk so much about the Lionesses, but women's football in general, is the spotlight is on it so much more.
It's of course.
Mainstream TV every other week now,
which is brilliant, you know, which is fantastic. And fingers crossed we get to the point where people are fighting for the rights, like Sky, etc. It's deserved, you know. Why are we anything less?
And that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I think something that was really poignant, when we obviously played against the USA, is bringing back the Lionesses, who and they hadn't even, you know, that was the first time that they'd got their actual caps for playing back then in 72. And they've paved the way for, you know, the Chloe Kellys and the Leah Williamsons of today to be able to play on the pitch. It's so amazing to see that, and so important. And just, I think, feeling confident and being yourself is going to be a major step to that. Speaking of kind of, I guess, role models, because obviously your website is amazing. So you are live now. You were talking about it at the end of August. It's only a couple of months old, which is mad. How did you kind of, I guess, pick the models? Because you've got a couple of young girls, haven't you, that are modeling the clothes? And it's very inclusive and, you know, diverse. How did you get to that point?
So the first thing straight away was, I don't want models. You know, I don't want people that football doesn't mean to them, because number one, when we do an action shot, it's going to be absolute carnage. I wanted people that love football, you know, whether they play, whether they watch, or just even like a football shirt, it doesn't matter. So what I wanted to do is, I wanted to pick, I didn't know how many at this point, but I wanted to pick some girls who were going to be part of my SKR squad, that will represent me on every level and show that it's for everybody. So our first model is Aisha, and Aisha is not a football player, but Aisha absolutely adores Manchester City. She loved the shoot. Aisha's 14, absolute star, very cheeky, but she loves the product. So why not?
That's the key thing, isn't it? I mean, I can't play football for anything. I can't run for a bus. There's absolutely no chance I can run around a pitch for 10 minutes, let alone all 90. And she's exactly the type of person that, you know, is going to be buying these hoodies. To just pop on, be comfy, especially when you're watching, you know, an evening game, or you're going up the Etihad as well, and it's cold. It's Manchester.
Even the mums still on the sidelines, you know. And that for me is what Aisha stood for, you know. Gorgeous girl inside and out, absolute star.
Even from the picture, you can see her cheeky personality coming out. She's like, you got to see the other ones. They were brilliant. I mean, she was quite shy at first, but once she got warmed up, she was funny. She made the day. Amazing. So talk us through a couple of the others as well, because obviously you've got a few more girls who.
So we've got Lola. Lola's a grassroots player. She's actually from the club that I train at.
Amazing.
Lola's she's got a nice aura about her, you know. And when I was having a chat with her dad and explained what I was trying to do, he was all for it, loved the idea. So I asked him, would he have a chat with her? And he said, I don't know if she's going to do it because she was quite shy. Well, there you go.
Have a football in front of her and she's not.
Oh, so she goes to watch the football, big Man City ladies fan. She plays for Reddish Villarettes, and then she also does futsal as well. But just loves and breathes football, you know. Then the other girl is Eva, who's actually an academy player. She plays at Manchester United.
Wow.
Absolutely unreal player. My jaw dropped watching her on the photo shoot. Found her through social media, contacted her dad, explained what we was about, sent him some pictures of samples of the product, and 8:30 the next morning gets a message. She's just got up, she wants to do it.
Oh,
so that was amazing. And then luckily the two, Eva and Lola, knew each other from futsal. So that was nice. So they had a bit of a friendship already.
And you can see literally, I mean, they're so young. Eva's 10 and in the academy, which is absolutely bonkers. The talent that girl must have.
Oh, she's unreal. Unreal.
You can see it from the pictures. It's just, I mean, they're brilliant pictures. Do you want to talk us through about the kit that they're wearing?
So the idea of the photo shoot for me was I wanted to do products that kids wanted to wear.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to an AstroTurf pitch. I didn't want to go to a football pitch because not every kid has got the opportunity. So we're going to do it as kids play now. And if you can notice the footballs as well.
Yeah.
Because that's how we played. Not everyone's got a shiny new ball, you know.
Oh, you'd find it in the bottom of the garden.
To be honest, I put a Facebook post out and this is what caught. So but they were perfect because I'm trying to set this balance that's how kids are, you know. Not every kid has got this opportunity.
Yeah.
So both girls are wearing grip socks. The shorts are just a standard short because we've had an issue with a supplier, but that's another story. But they're both wearing the training tops. Lola's actually got her hoodie on this one. Eva has got her training tee. And they're both wearing the headbands and bobbles.
And that's a massive thing as well. I mean, I can't get a headband to stay on my head for anything. I've tried them. And I actually had conversations with my female friends in the group chats and was like, we don't know how to make our headband stay on at all when we're at the gym or anything like that. And it is so important because obviously for us, we have to keep our hair out of our eyes if we're playing football. I say we, not me. But, you know, these are the things that men don't have to think about unless, you know, obviously some of them do have long hair. And I think that's so important because they then feel like they can play. Again, it comes back to they feel confident enough to play and confident enough to just step out.
I think, I mean, also, you get a lot of men. It's a bit of a fashion accessory, isn't it? You do get I've had quite a few boys wearing the product, but it's got a silicone in it, so it's non-slip.
Yeah.
And the hair bubbles are exactly the same because if you watch any child or somebody at the gym, they're just constantly pulling the bubble and pulling it back in. So the bubbles have also got silicone in, so they don't slip.
That's incredible. And that's obviously so important with the activities that they're doing. I mean, the skills that they're showing there is just, they're brilliant. And you must be so proud as well to see that on them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that day of doing that shoot, I was awful in the morning. I was so nervous. Is it going to work? Are they all going to get on? And then this was actually taken on a pathway in a tunnel. Obviously, all the graffiti you can see. And they just got the balls and started hitting them on the wall, the way they were controlling it. It was just, it was amazing. And obviously the photographer Connor as well. I mean, he was fantastic with the kids, which helps.
Yeah.
And made them feel so comfortable. And we literally just give them the balls, off you go.
That's amazing. And we do have pictures of your other products as well.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm obviously with a startup, you don't want to, I guess, peak too soon.
Yeah.
What is it that you see next for
So
all of them? I
something
mean, these are
that's
on here.
yeah.
They're
So for
brilliant.
me, I mean, the important thing is I want to continue to be able to everything that I've got to offer currently has £1 donated to grassroots. So whether it's a hair bobble or a headband or a hoodie, £1 goes into the pot for grassroots, and that is something that I'm not going to let go. That's going to carry on, whether it buy a pair of boots for a girl. Some girl might not be able to afford a subscription to a football club. You know, we will do whatever we can, and it's not a case that we're not going to splatter it all over the internet, because they might be a bit embarrassed.
Yeah.
But that is something that we're offering out. So we've currently sponsored a football team. We sponsored a charity night the other night for a football club. And what we did is it was a race night. So we sponsored a race. And we're just going to carry on. We're currently in the realms of sponsoring another girls' football team to do a warm-up top.
That's amazing.
So these girls can carry on playing. So don't get me wrong, there is profit in the item, but also I make that promise that a pound will go to
I think that's so
grassroots.
important to make that donation. I mean, at the minute, you've got some incredible things that people can wear,
Yeah.
and I'm guessing you kind of see that expanding as well. Hopefully, in the
Oh
next
gosh,
few
yeah.
years.
Already looking at new colours in the training tees. I'm lucky enough to be in a lot of group WhatsApp for the football, so I send it out to the parents and ask them to show the kids. You know, this is what I'm thinking of next. What's your thoughts? And
That's the
then
most
just keep
important
progressing
thing
it.
to start. It's literally starting with the kids, isn't it? The most
Of course it
important
is. You've
thing,
got to listen. Yeah.
because that's how you got here and kind of picked the colours, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Everything. I mean, one of the things, obviously, is you can see the training t-shirts. I've done them black, but one's got a trim of mint green and one's got a trim of pink. The mint green's the best seller. They just don't, they're not massive on this pink.
Yeah.
You know, if you look a lot of the product, it's black or grey, because that is what the girls want. They want to be able to wear an item that is for a girl, but it's not pink, it's not got flowers on, it's not got this, it's not cropped, you know.
It's so stereotypical, isn't it, to kind of put a girl in a pink top, and I think that's a general kind of stereotype anyway, whether you look at sports or not, because it's what you see in the supermarket or a retail shop, and you've got the pink and the blue for boys and girls. One thing that I wanted to ask you actually is, obviously, like, when you expand your clothing range, one of the conversations at the minute is obviously women on their periods and wearing white.
Yes.
Which has been massive over the last kind of few years, but really come to light in the last few months. And we've obviously just seen West Brom have announced that they're just going to wear permanently dark shorts, which I think is incredible. And especially as a young girl, you're always fretting, you're always worrying.
Of course, yeah.
Even when you're in school, you kind of pull kind of a pad or a tampon out of your bag, and you literally shove it up your sleeve and go to the toilet, and you're basically running there. The embarrassment is just, it's still so big, and it's something that I've experienced. How important do you think it is that, especially launching a clothing range, these conversations are so important anyway, but for that?
100%. I mean, we talked before about someone being comfortable. If you're confident in what you're wearing, you're comfortable and you're more relaxed, and you'll enjoy whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, is it? If you look at all the clubs, you know, me personally, I'll never release white shorts. 3 reasons. Obviously, due to what we've spoken about. Second of all, as a mum, have you ever tried to get white shorts clean? And the third thing, which was important for me, was the training tops I'm always going to have with black on.
Yeah.
So for me to go to somebody and say, listen, we're releasing new training tops and shorts, it's going to cost this much. At least if I can keep the shorts and make sure that every training top matches them, it's more affordable.
Yeah. And that's obviously for you, but passed down to everybody else as well, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
I think that's so important, and especially for the community that you represent and the players that you're aiming at. These are grassroots players.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
That is so important to give that message across, and I'm really hoping that the likes of the Championship and WSL clubs follow suit, because it is a massive issue, and I think girls need to see that, and they need to see that it's okay that you can still be able to play football and do sporting activities when you're on your period, no matter what. And it just cuts out half of the embarrassment. And boys don't help. Some girls don't help when they're in school. So if they've got that outside of school, it's just so important to bring that all together. And it literally all circles around to feeling comfortable.
Of course. I mean, if that player's comfortable, they're going to play better on the pitch.
Yeah.
So if these big teams want to win these big titles and be going to Europe, etc., it's like I say, it's not rocket science, is it? It's not hard.
No. And that's the conversation that they were having, isn't it? Kind of in the last few weeks when West Brom announced that, is that it is about, anxiety. I mean, hopefully younger kids don't experience that, but definitely older ones that are more aware. And adolescents and teenagers, which is the prime point of where they're at and experiencing all of this, is that they don't have that anxiety going on the pitch, and they don't have anything distracting them. And especially for the serious players that want to be part of the academies and then rise up through the ranks, they're not having anything. And, clothing ranges like yours are really going to help them right from the bottom up.
Yeah, definitely.
Have that worry.
Yeah.
I think that's just so important, and you're doing such a brilliant job as well.
Thank you.
Because when we were talking before, this isn't your full-time job.
No, it's not. I've got 2 children as well. I'm married. I've got a full-time job, and I'm also doing this as well as football coach on a Monday night. So but I'm passionate about it. It means a lot to me. And in all honesty, it doesn't feel like work. I'm doing 2 things that I'm passionate about: football and clothing.
Yeah. And that, I think that just comes through as well. And that you're providing something that is so important for young girls as well.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation around it. As well, we were talking before, you're actually going to be it for anybody who is up north that's watching. I'm only up the road in Liverpool, but you're going to be at the Rochdale game on Saturday, aren't you? Do you want to talk a little bit about kind of what you're doing there and what's going on?
Yeah, of course. So on Saturday, we've been invited down to Rochdale Football Club. They've got a game, I think it's against Barrow, and it's the Her Game 2 campaign. So what that's about is sexism, really, on the terraces at football, making sure that girls feel comfortable on the terraces while watching a football game. So they're doing a highlight at a men's game, which is amazing. They've invited grassroots girls football teams down, and also a lot of the Rochdale girls are going to be there from like the under 8s, 9s, 10s, etc. And they're going to have a bit of a gathering. They're going to play some games with the kids. We're going to be there with our pop-up shop. We're going to give some prizes out and just make the girls feel comfortable and let them know that they can come to a match and enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's another important thing. I mean, we kind of joke about it that I used to be a guest. I was a guest on this once, and now I'm kind of working on it. But with Her Game 2, it is so important, and to tally up and partner with people like you who are providing the clothing, not just for players and grassroots, but like you say, the people that are watching on the sidelines.
Yeah,
it goes together literally like a jigsaw, because I mean, it's just another important part of, I guess, that football culture, isn't it? The acceptance and feeling comfortable and feeling happy going to a game. I know that myself and so many people have been subject to sexism just by attending a game or giving my opinion. And again, it's just so important for those girls to feel comfortable going to a game. I used to go with my dad when I was like 13 or 14.
Right.
And even then, the conversations now I didn't realise back then. So it is making us feel comfortable to go as girls.
Yeah.
Even things like sanitary products in the toilets.
Yeah.
Things like that. If I went with my dad back then, I was screwed because I didn't know any females that went to the football. I'd be absolutely scuppered.
Yeah.
And even for women, like for us that might be caught short, it's just that inclusivity, and it goes together so well with what you're doing.
Yeah.
I really hope to see more of this because what you're doing is so fantastic. And
thank you.
I think it is really going to motivate young girls to play and have fun as well.
Yeah.
Because like you say, that's just the main thing. If they're wearing
Exactly.
things that, you know, they think are cool. You know, you were talking about it earlier. You didn't feel cool.
Well, no, you don't. You know, the kids go shopping. There was a little girl a couple of months ago who went football boot shopping. Do you remember her?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. I actually spoke to her mum on Twitter, and every box, do you know, and it's just, let's get past it now. You know, if a kid wants to wear boy or girl, let them do it. So also, that was also behind the reasoning then about the colour schemes of what I've done, because they wanted to wear similar colours to the lads, but they wanted a girls' one.
Yeah. And it's that mix, isn't it? It's getting that balance. And even just having a label on it, it sounds on the surface very materialistic, but again, it just
100%, yeah, of course it is.
Literally comes back to how we feel. Because if you see something on the rack that says ladies, women's, girls, you just feel that much more included straight away. You know that you're accepted in that environment or community. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on, for talking.
No problem.
It's been absolutely brilliant. Good luck with everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. You can, if you've missed a lot of this conversation, you can catch up on our Facebook, on our Twitter, on our Instagram. You'll see it all there. A massive thank you to Abby for joining us. You can also find them on Instagram and Twitter under Sokker Girls. That's soccer with a KK. It was absolutely brilliant to talk to her. This is She Can, Women in Sports series. We'll be back next week with a new episode.